Hi, friends, and welcome back to the ICW Exchange, the Illinois Child Welfare Exchange. I'm your host, Jocelyn Fetting, and I am really, really happy you're here with me today. If you've been following along, this is the third episode in my big Sister Talk series. And this one is a bit special because it's the last one I do before I graduate. I'll be honest, I don't know what this project will look like after that. My hope is that I can keep doing these because they have truly meant so much to me. But life after graduation is a lot. Finding a job, figuring out where I fit next, adulting, as they say. So today, I just want to share a few things that I wish someone had told me while I was in care. Things I had to figure out the hard way. And before we jump in, if anything I say feels too heavy or too close to home, please give yourself permission to pause. Take a breath, grab some water, take a walk. You can always come back. These reflections aren't rules. They are just things that I wish that I heard back then. So number 1, own your story. When I first came into care, I was what they called a teacher's pet. School was how I survived. It was the one space I could control something, where effort equaled results. And focusing on grades and good behavior was how I coped with all of the chaos. The trauma at home, and then the shock of entering the system. But what I didn't realize back then was that I was being so hard on myself. That need to be perfect, it wasn't really about pride, it was about survival. And people loved it. Adults praised it. The amount of times I was told, "Look how resilient you are," or "Look at how put together you are." But I wasn't resilient. I was just trying not to fall apart. And here's the thing. That pressure, that overachieving part of me, it wasn't just something people appreciated. It became a measuring stick that others used against my siblings. There was a time when my brother and I were in separate placements, and people would tell him to be a lot more like me. And I remember looking him in the eye one day and telling him something that I still regret. People are going to stop caring that you are in foster care. They're going to stop giving you chances. And at the time, I thought I was preparing him for the world. But now, I know that what I really did was pass along the same message I had absorbed. That our worth depended on how well we hid our pain. And that's not true. Your foster care experience, your story, it doesn't end when you leave the system. It becomes part of you. It shapes how you see things, how you love, and how you work. But it doesn't define all of you. You don't need to erase it to move forward. You don't need to be ashamed of it. It's not your weakness, it's your strength. Because if you could make it through that, babe, you could make it through anything. And I promise you, your story, even the painful parts, can become your superpower. And I know the system isn't perfect, not even close. It's complicated, it's heavy, and sometimes it hurts. But you can take those pieces and build something powerful from them. Find community, find the people and programs that understand what it means to walk through what you've walked through. Because you're not the only one. And there are so many of us out here who are living, loving, healing, and succeeding. So that's my first piece of Big Sister advice. Own your story. Every messy, imperfect, powerful piece of it. Number 2, you deserve happiness. The second thing I wish someone had told me is you deserve to be happy. And I know that sounds simple, but it took me years to actually believe that. When I was in care, I punished myself a lot. I thought that if my parents couldn't love me, then no one could. And if they didn't stay, maybe it was my fault. I carried that shame for so long that I started to self-sabotage. And I convinced myself that I didn't deserve good things. Not stability, not love, not success. And when something good did happen, I was waiting for it to fall apart. Sometimes even trying to make it fall apart. Because happiness scared me. But here's what I've learned. Happiness doesn't have to be fleeting. It doesn't mean that life is perfect. It doesn't mean that everything makes sense. It just means that you're finally allowing yourself to experience joy without the guilt. And your happiness might look completely different from mine. For some, happiness is reconnecting with family. And for others, it's building a new one. Friends who show up, mentors who care, and people who listen and celebrate you. I built my own family. A chosen one. Made up of people who cheer for my wins, check on me when I'm quiet, and give me hugs when I need them. And I want that for you too. You deserve a life where you can laugh without worrying about what's next. Where peace doesn't feel suspicious. You're allowed to have soft days. You're allowed to be happy. And I know it's hard to let go of survival mode. It's what keeps us safe. But survival is not the same thing as living. And it's okay if it takes time to believe that. Healing isn't linear. It's not a straight line to walk. But every moment of joy you allow yourself counts. Number 3, you don't have to do college. Okay? Now let's talk about this one. I'm not saying college doesn't matter, because it does. But it doesn't have to look one way. I loved school. I always did. I was the kid with the color-coded notes and the perfect attendance record. But my brother, he was a different story. He's a hands-on type of learner, and when he left college, I'm not going to lie to you, I was absolutely terrified. I thought, this is it, and he is going to struggle forever. But guess what? He didn't, and he doesn't. He found his own path. He's doing things that I could never do, things that require a different kind of intelligence than the one that I have, and a different level of creativity. So let me say this clearly. Success doesn't only live inside a classroom. If you're not a school person, that's okay. There are trades, certificates, and careers that build just as bright a future. And if you do want to come back to college later, the DCFS scholarship is there for you. There's no age cap. There's no expiration date. I've known people in their 30s and 40s who went back and used it. So take your time. Don't rush yourself. And don't try to put yourself in a box that doesn't fit. because it'll still be here when you're ready. Number 4, don't rush growing up. When you grow up in foster care, you get adultified early. People start calling you mature for your age, but in reality, it's because you've had to make adult decisions before you were ready. I'll never forget sitting in a meeting when I was about to age out, filling out paperwork, asking who I wanted to make medical decisions for me if I couldn't. And I remember thinking, I don't even know what I want for dinner tonight, and now I have to choose who decides my medical care? That's the thing about foster care. It speeds everything up. You go from having no control to suddenly having control over everything and anything, and it gets overwhelming. So if you're feeling that pressure to rush, to move out, to cut ties, to figure it out all right now, please pause. You don't have to have it together at 18 or 21 or even 30. Life is not a race. And while I know the system can be frustrating, there are resources meant to support you, sometimes even after 21. It's easier to get that help if you stay connected a little longer. So don't rush to leave just because you're tired. Get what you can from the system. Take it. Take the support, the resources, the scholarships, and use them to build your foundation. Because adulthood it's gonna come. It'll be here quicker than you know it. And when it does, with this support, you'll be ready. Because you took your time. Number 5, you've already proven you can do hard things. Finally, I want you to remember that you've already done the hard part. So take care of yourself, because you are an important human being, even on the days you don't feel like it. Now listen, because you might have to work harder, you might have to wake up earlier, and you might have to stay up a little bit later, but it will pay off. I'm getting ready to graduate with my Master's of Social Work. And I used my DCFS scholarship to cover my entire university experience, from my bachelor's all the way through my master's. And it wasn't easy, not in the slightest. I won't lie, I even thought about dropping out a couple times. I went to a Big Ten school, wearing hand-me-downs, surrounded by people who had way more. But I did it. And I'm not saying you have to be like me. I'm saying you can do it too, in your own way, on your own timeline. Because if no one has told you this lately, I believe in you. So here's your reminder before we go. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to start over as many times as you need. Own them, learn from them, and do not let anyone hold them against you once you have grown. Because you got this. Truly. So take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Rest when you need to. Have fun, but be safe. Because you are loved, you are worthy, and you are capable. I am so very proud of you. And remember, Big Sis loves you. Take care. Until next time.